are listening to All Burgundy and Go Everything, powered by the Urban Sports Scene and Fox Sports Radio, 96.9 FM and 1340 AM. Hopewell, Virginia, your host star, Wole, Mo, Ray, and Glenn. I'm Wole. What's going on, fellas?
Another week.
Everybody snacking. Hey, let me introduce everybody snacking. Y'all crazy. And we also have Emmy Award-winning sports personality and Holder Sports own Lou Holder. What's going on, Lou?
Good. I've already eaten. So the only reason you didn't catch me snacking because I just finished.
I ate earlier too. I had a nice tuna fish sandwich.
Hey, sometimes you gotta eat. I mean, you don't want to faint you don't want to faint doing everything.
Hey, say it again, Lou. Everything. That's
you don't want to faint doing everything.
I love it.
Yes, sir.
You gotta have nourishment.
Glenn has like the ice from the ice maker. That's what it sounded like he had, man. It sounded like there's a lot of ice in that cup, bro.
It was, man. I'm sorry about that, man. I just rushed into the house. It was thirsty, a little bit parched. You know what I'm saying? I had to get. I make sure I have a voice.
You get the real on ABG. You know what I'm saying? We get the real out here, man. On ABG.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's none of the real, bro. Hey, before we get to the show topics, let me get into the particulars. Subscribe to our podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Just search All Burgundy and Go Everything. Also, tweet us at ABG_everything. Hit us up on IG at ABG_everything. And like our All Burgundy and Go Everything Facebook page. Also follow, subscribe to us on iHeartRadio. We're on iHeartRadio too as well. Make sure you subscribe to our All Burgundy and Go Everything YouTube channel. If you're watching this on YouTube, hit the red subscribe button and like this video. All right, here's the pregame. Here's what we have on tap. We'll talk about possible Commanders draft targets and news out of the combine. All right, let's get right into it. Hey, Lou, this is for you, Lou. The NFL combine started this week, and the Commanders are supposed to be looking for a quarterback. They've met with LSU quarterback Jaden Daniels at the combine and will meet with USC quarterback Caleb Williams. I'm sure they'll meet with Drake May as well sometime, the quarterback out of UNC. Should we read into them meeting these two quarterbacks first?
Nope. Nope. I think that this is going to be first of all, this is such a refreshing change to have an adult in the room like Adam Peters who's going to be making this decision. I can't understate or understate, whatever. I can't express enough how important of a win that was for that person to be hired. Everything else after that, even Dan Quinn, everything else after that is more able to be digested because Adam Peters is the one making the decision. So I personally am still not sold on Cliff Kingsbury. I'm not, but that doesn't mean that it can't work. I do know that if you're like this quarterback whisperer and you can do all this stuff, it doesn't matter which one of these none of these quarterbacks to me are a Joe Burrow or a Peyton Manning or whatever. They're all that's why they vacillate from 1 to 2 to 3 because there's no clear cut on who's going to be the number one. One day it's Caleb Williams, the next day it's Drake May, the next day Daniels is over May. I just think that with this particular team, it's the free agency and building up that offensive line that was not done last year that is going to be more important than who they select at quarterback, because I think that any of these quarterbacks, they all have their ups and they all have their downs. So I don't think reading into anything. One thing I do know about the combine, there's a lot of moving and shaking going on. There's PR tactics going on because everybody is dying for some news. So whatever happens, people are going to be like, oh, wow, should we read into that? Should we read into that? I just think that after you've done this for so long, you just let the due process take place. And I'm glad that they're going to do their due diligence. When they make that pick, I'm going to be good with whoever they pick.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I think there's adults.
I can honestly say I'm going to be okay with whoever they pick because I feel that there's just such a fine line between the top three that I don't think anyone is going to be so much far ahead of the other two, to me.
I'm gonna tell you first. Caleb going 1. Nobody passing up on Caleb. The rest, I agree. I think Caleb's going 1. I feel like all that is talk. It happens. It's wild because it happens almost every year where folks try to downplay the number 1 pick. Like for instance, I remember when even with Andrew Luck and RG3, they were trying to push RG3 over Andrew Luck, and everybody knew Andrew Luck was the one. But they were trying to make scenarios where Andrew Luck was, oh, well, this team may get RG3 because RG3 is faster or whatnot, and he's accurate with the football in college. And then, so it's wild how the consensus number 1. There's always something that trickles down. Like I don't know, if it's agents playing that game or whatnot, but it's always something when people throw that negative spin into the media, so folks can start to change their mind and say, well, maybe I'm thinking that maybe this player should go number 1 over that player. So I think there's definitely between the other two for Washington. Mo, your thoughts on that?
Lou, before I get into this, the English teacher in me was just so like excited when you used the word vacillate just now. But
oh God.
You took me back. Right? But I think I'm right with you. I think as I call it lying season. I think everybody is jockeying for position. Nobody wants to put out their plan of attack and how they want to attack the draft. And I think a lot of the news that comes out now is just smoke and mirrors. Teams have their draft boards. The combine is not set up for you to come and find out something new about a scout. It's to make sure that everything that you saw on film is what you think it is. It all adds up. So like the combine is not supposed to be a surprise unless you're talking about the later rounds. You're talking about these hidden gems, these players which typically come in what we know at the skill positions: the wide receivers, the DBs, the linebackers, and the running backs. So as you said, it's a lot of fluff. It's a lot of news just to get people entertained, get people ready for a draft season. All the what ifs, I think, are just for entertainment at this point. The people know who they need. They know who they need in the building. They know the skill. They know the positions that they need. Now it's just going in and fine tuning it and matching the players with what you saw on tape. So like I say, it's line season. I don't trust nothing that I hear in this time. I do know Caleb is probably going to go number 1. He came out earlier and said that he would love to be in Chicago, which is a different tune than what we've heard before. So it is right about that time for him to jockey himself in position too, especially with the news and how the news has fluctuated about him and how we've seen them try to put these other quarterbacks above him. He has to play some PR also, especially since he's not throwing at the combine.
Yeah. So he's not the only one not throwing in combine. May, Daniels, they're not throwing in the combine. But I know he doesn't have to. Caleb doesn't have to. But in terms of the other two, and I'm gonna start with Glenn. I'll start with you. In terms of the other two, in terms of Drake May and also Jaden Daniels, them not throwing in the combine, do you see that as a red flag? Because obviously, to me, like you're still competing for the 2 spot, and you're competing for like maybe to change someone's mind about the 1. Like Lou said, maybe you can change somebody's mind about 1. Do you feel like it's a red flag, like they don't want the competition, or they're content with 2?
Not at all. I don't think it's a red flag. We've seen this a lot by a lot of quarterbacks. They rather do their own private pro day or whatever the case may be. Mo talked about something about athletes. NFL scouts already know what you can do physically when you get to the combine. All right. Most importantly, what they want to do is at the combine, they really want to interview you. They want to talk to you. They want to dig into your history. They want to dig into your psychological, your mental, and see if you that guy. Are you soft? Are you broken? What can break you? What can how mentally strong you are? So when you got guys like Drake May, you got guys like Caleb Williams, you got guys like Jaden Daniels. Everyone know they can play football, right? They know that, as Lou said, they know that who's 1, 2, or 3 in whatever order you want to pick it in, right? They will be the top number 3 picks based off the team's needs. The number 3 team, the 3 teams that are picking, all need a quarterback, right? Chicago needs 1, Washington needs 1, and New England needs 1. So we know the 3 quarterbacks are going to go So that everybody knows all that. So this is more about a psychological move and who's the better fit for your organization. That's why Adam Peters, that's why you have to sit down and talk to him. I don't need you. I know you can throw a deep out, right? I know you can throw a comeback. I know you can throw a fade. I know you can throw a deep ball. We've seen all that, filming on there. I want to know, can you lead a team and lead an organization? Because regardless of what happens, Washington need a leader, a quarterback who is a leader in this organization. And I'm talking about one who is vocal, one not only vocal, but one that can play on the field as well. Because it's been a sad thing. And you think about the history of Washington, for the last several years, we've talked about the quarterback, the defensive, if the leaders have been on the defense and not on the offensive side of the ball. Mm-hmm. So now you're looking for a quarterback who can lead this team. And teams that are getting to the next level have quarterbacks who are leaders. So that's why you're looking for which quarterback can be the leader of this organization in the face of this franchise, not Terry McLaurin, not Chase Young, not anybody else that has been in the past, right? And that's what Washington's been missing for the last several years. Quarterback. Y'all laugh, but when y'all live in DC, who's on the Eastern Motors commercials? Who's on the quarterback? I tell you that much, right? it ain't a quarterback. So
I'm laughing because you still found a way to bring Chase Young into it. That's why I laughed. I wasn't laughing at what you're talking about.
You know why? Because
I didn't even hear we brought Chase. I didn't.
Because Chase Young, of course he did. Because when they did marketing material, it was Chase Young. He was looked at as being a leader of this team. Jonathan Allen was looked at as being the leader of this team. People that were guys on defense. There was your quarterback should be the leader of your organization, and so therefore, I don't want this week is not much more. It's not about who can throw the ball. It's about who can lead this organization for the future.
Good point. Yeah. Hey, so Luke, go ahead. Luke, for you. Yeah.
Yeah. Mo brought up a very interesting topic that has been bantered around in the media for quite a while, and it's actually what the combine actually is, right? Mm-hmm. So I think Mo said it's like the what do you call it, the lion season? I think that the combine, it is what it is. It's an entertainment type of thing, right? The real stuff is happening with those interviews, behind the scenes, whatever. But these, what do they call it? The underwear Olympics or whatever they call these things. What they actually should do is just go all out and make it what it is, like the draft. They should move the combine from city to city, just like they do with the draft, right? Sell tickets, have these fans come out there in these different cities, see them do their routes and whatever, whoever's working out, and call it what it actually is. It's an entertainment thing. It's also a convention. Like, where else are these, we talk a lot about these coaches and these front office people interviewing and trying to find out about the players. Well, they're also interviewing other GMs and other coaches to find out where they are too, right? It's like almost when you have the Final Four, you have all these coaches that ascend on the Final Four area in basketball for convention. They meet, they talk, whatever. They should do the same thing at the combine. I got some, reports that they've done an all-woman forum. You could have a lot of things going on at the combine, and if you move it from city to city, they would sell it out. They would make so much money for charities and stuff like that. I mean, Indianapolis in the end of February, beginning of March is not the most appealing thing for some of these people. So move it around. Have fun with it, just like you do with the draft. Look how the draft has exploded in the cities that they go to, So when Mo talked about, it's lion season, well, let's just have an entertainment season, The real stuff will happen behind the scenes when you talk to people about your mental character and your mental makeup and everything like that. But all the stuff that we see that the media gets to see with the running and even Rich Eisen doing his running for charity, whatever, let's just call it what it is with this combine thing, because anything the NFL does, people are going to eat it up, right? So this is one thing that I think that they're missing on as far as a marketing tool, and they do it better than anybody else, the NFL, with October and pink and November and, the military, whatever. They should just have it a big, huge party with the little bit of nuances that Mo was talking about behind the scenes, and just call it what it is. I think it's about time that they start looking at the combine as what it is, because this is one of the few times of the year where all the front office personnel and everybody does get together at one place.
Yeah, I think to to the question, if it's a red flag, I don't think it's a red flag. You know, a lot of these guys have their own quarterback coaches now in the off season prior to the combine and whatnot. They have guys they've been throwing to that they're familiar with. They rather throw to them. They get to be in their home stadium or their indoor bubble that's temperature controlled. Like we said, it's the underwear Olympics. So they get to run around and just showcase these arms. Everybody's going to do that Tony Romo and Cam Newton spin out to one side and throw to the other pylon 70 yards. And the whole place is going to go nuts as if we haven't seen this on tape already, right? So I don't see it as a red flag, especially for the guys that are locks. All them throwing does is put more scrutiny on them if it doesn't go the way it's supposed to. And it makes the news cycle more negative about them when it's supposed to be about them improving their stock. And realistically, yes, you can say that in a game somebody might get hurt, but you don't know who you're throwing to. But at least then you'll be at practice with that player at some point, right? You may not get all the reps with them, but y'all are teammates and whatnot. Just throwing the randoms from that NFL scouts want to come see and the timing is off. It only makes you look bad. So I completely understand why these quarterbacks, especially the ones that have a lot at stake, even though the top 3 teams this year all are going to take quarterbacks, presumably, like it leads to more negative news about them than you probably would want to hear. We just heard Justin Fields say he went on vacation, so he unfollowed the Chicago Bears because he didn't want to see that on his timeline. I wouldn't want to see no negative news about me prior to me coming to play an NFL down after I've already done my work on the field because of some throws that somebody didn't catch at a combine.
Yeah, but you got to do this. I mean, the combine situation, again, when they don't come to the combine, you mentioned throwing the randoms. When you throw in your own controlled environment, you getting your friends, other people on your team looks, right, that they may not have gotten. They might find a diamond in the rough, right? Go back to your teammates. That means your teammates who wouldn't invited to the combine really get a combine look because now they're people that wouldn't have saw them. You come to get their own pro day. So
Isn't
now
that
you
what
help
happened with Dax Milner?
Right, you help your voice, right? Help boys. Back to Lou's point, Indianapolis is a great city, Lou. One of the reasons I think Indianapolis is a great city for the combine is this: if you ever been to the city of Indianapolis, everything is connected. And if you ain't been there, that means from whatever hotel you're at, you ain't got to deal with the wintertime. You can walk through it. It's in the center of America. It is one of those type of things that people look at that need to go. So I think Indianapolis is a decent city there for the combine to be held. If you ain't never been there, it's a great place, man. But it is.
Man, NBA players don't like Indianapolis. They be clowning.
They can clown it all you want, but guess what? It's the indoor facility. You can't move it to no outdoor arena, a stadium, because it's the middle of winter. You never know what you're gonna get in other cities. But at least though, right here, what other dome are you gonna go to? Right? Maybe New Orleans, right? Maybe Arizona. That's it. It's not too many more.
But Glenn, if you're talking about domes, you can just take it to wherever they play the Super Bowl at. That's always a dome. You can take it to
Vegas.
You can take it to New Orleans. You can take it to Vegas. You can take it to Atlanta.
You take that thing to Vegas.
You can take it to Los Angeles. Those are more prominent cities.
It's much more than just a facility. It's talking about the meeting space, the team people that you have coming in. What else is going on? What else is going on in those cities? It's logistics.
Are we talking about? Are we talking about having fun? Or are we just talking about for combine, like for just to control, to focus on the task at hand?
We talking about having fun. When you bring in the city.
We're doing this in Atlanta or Vegas. I already know we're gonna have.
I'm just saying, Glenn riding hard for Indy, man.
Hey, it's a great city, middle America. You got to realize where everybody's coming from and what they try to get done. It's been in Indianapolis forever, as far as I can remember. I don't know. I can't remember when it's not been in Indianapolis.
Yeah,
that's right.
I do agree with all the points that when you put all your stuff on tape. The only downside now is if something doesn't go right, well then there's a whole bunch of, because the media is looking for stories, they're looking for clickbait, they're looking for all kind of stuff, and then it's almost like, well, how do they now perform when it's their first quote unquote NFL experience, right? Mm-hmm. And I just remember that movie with Kevin Costner called Draft Day, where they were just interviewing all these guys, to find out, why do you do this and what happened this? And I mean, it's the mental inside of their head that's what this time is all about.
Hey Ray, you got a Ray?
Oh yeah, finally. Hey, listen, bro. First of all, the combine. You remember Maurice Claret, right? That was golden when he ran that year because he was coming off a suspension and he had gained some weight. The combine is here to stay. It's entertaining regardless. People are going to tune in, like you said, NFL. The NFL, everybody wants to see what the NFL is going to do next. That's why they moved their draft day. They're so innovative. The NFL will figure that out. I'm not worried about that. But Lou, I've seen you on PGC before, man. So let me do my huggy lowdown real quick, man. I just want to say, Lou, when we first had you on, bro, you said that since you started covering this franchise, this team has been looking for a quarterback. This is one of the most important drafts in quite some time. First of all, the negative news continues to trickle in. Mm-hmm. The NFL Players Association report card came out today. Washington's last. F in treatment of families, F in training staff, F in team travel, F in locker room. Just horrible. You got to get this right. You have to get this right to face your franchise. And Dan,
they already got it right, Ray. They got it right with Adam Peters. They got it right. They got it right. This is not going to be a quick fix. And I don't think that any quarterback that they're going to pick up is going to be successful without an offensive line. None of them will be.
I'm just saying, Dan Quinn, he said the qualities he wants to see is mental and physical toughness, how they stand in the pocket against the rush, accuracy of deep ball, explosive plays, and also if you can get out the pocket on bad plays and use your legs. They interviewed Jayden Daniels first. It looks like, is he that guy based on the qualities I just said that Dan Quinn just listed all that he wants to see in his future quarterback?
I agree. I'll be happy with Daniels. I'll be happy with Daniels. I'll also be happy with Drake May. For me, because I just feel that, if you put a nice offensive line around him, that's one thing that we all know that Sam Howell did not have.
Yeah.
The only offensive lineman that I would keep from this group is Sam Cosmi. We all know that, right? Yeah. Everybody else. And the only reason why Adam Peters took this job is because of all the cap space and the draft capital that is coming here, right? So don't think for one instant that he's not out there and they're not out there at the combine looking at the free agent pickups they can pick up for the offensive line to help whatever quarterback that they do pick. Because you're right. You're right. You can't get this right. You can't get this wrong, right? But I don't think that you can really. This is going to be a build. Finally, they're going to build a franchise here. There's not going to be a bunch of quick fixes. This isn't going to happen overnight, right? It might be the Houston Texans, but the odds are it's going to be more of a 2, 3, 4 year build. And you got to start with getting that quarterback. And I feel that in this draft, there's no clear cut, right? Even with Caleb Williams, there's no clear cut that this is a Joe Burrow, a can't miss or whatever, because if Chicago doesn't put pieces around Caleb Williams,
it's going to be a struggle.
I'm just saying the game of football hasn't changed. If you can protect your quarterback and get to the other team's quarterback, you will be in the postseason and you will win championships and Super Bowls. I mean, it hasn't changed. Am I wrong, fellas?
And no, you're right. But see, the difference to me is like Chicago went to a Super Bowl with Rex Grossman at quarterback. the Washington franchise, whatever you want to call them, team, Commanders, Redskins, they have not had a quarterback and they have not been close to that in quite some time. Sean Taylor was the last hope this franchise really had, and he was a defensive back. I just feel like it's so much stock that goes into this pick because a lot is riding on it. I really do. Like I said, you referenced it, Lou. How long you been covering this team? Have they had a consistent
long
quarterback
time.
For a long time? They have not had it.
And so Ray, do you think that Jayden Daniels is the answer?
Ooh, see, that's the thing.
That's what I'm saying.
You can't say that. I think Drake May is the safest pick, if I'm being honest. But we had a discussion on our other show about keeping Howell if you get offensive line and drafting Marvin Harrison Jr. So therefore, there's a lot of decisions to be made. I'm just saying. But quarterback, you want to face your franchise because it can't be Adam.
Mo, you got something. Mo, you want to say something? I can tell.
Man, Lou, they want to get this man Adam Peters fired before he even starts. You hear this foolishness? Marvin Harrison Jr.
Marvin is amazing. What are we talking here? You know what? I'm not doing this topic here because we did it. I did it. We talked about this earlier. So I'm not going to like.
There's a Marvin Harrison talk with the first pick.
That's my talk. That's my talk.
Lou,
I like Lou. Let me. Are you? If I'm here, I'm here now. Look, I'm here now, right?
I'm here. This is my first time hearing it.
You know, this hour.
Yeah,
talk.
go
It's
to
like,
YouTube.
man,
Watch the other show on YouTube, man.
So let me tell you.
You might cross over.
I'm here. You may cross over because you're gonna hear some great points. Marvin, if you look at any scout, most scouts, Marvin is arguably the best prospect in the draft anyway. Arguably the best prospect. Period.
I do believe that.
Yes.
I do believe that Marvin
Harrison. It's all about need.
Yeah, but see, that's the thing. We've done that before in the past. The problem is Washington. They may draft wrong with need, but sometimes they go need, but it ain't the. I'm all about right now. They're in a situation. We talk about rebuild. Get the best player available, like the best. I think they should get the best player. And Marvin, like I'll put it this way, Lou. Would you rather have? We said this on the show. Would you rather have Kirk Cousins, a really good quarterback, or would you rather have Justin Jefferson?
That's a good question. And the reason why I say that is, to be quite honest, Kirk Cousins didn't miss a game, and he was a lot better quarterback than RG3 was.
Facts, all facts.
So I can't really say I can't really say definitively who I would pick, because again, the parts around him. Again, look, this was an offensive line that had Brandon Sheriff, they had Trent Williams, they had Morgan Moses, they had all that. They don't have anything, right? They don't have anything. So who's going to if Marvin Harrison Jr. can't get open, right? Because we had Terry McLaurin that couldn't get open. We had Jahan Dotson that couldn't get open, right? So I'm looking at Cliff Kingsbury, and I'm looking at whoever quarterback that they get, right? I'm putting more onus on them. I don't know, to me, if Adam Peters, who has been compared to getting Brock Purdy as the whatever, I don't know if that's going to go over well, because again, just like with any other a coach that comes in, they want their own guy, right?
Very true.
They want their own guy. Sam Howell is not Adam Peters' guy, right?
That's a factual statement.
He's going to want to get his own guy and build with his own guy, right? Yeah. So even though Marvin Harrison might be the best player in the draft, there's no way that they're not going for quarterback to start a new culture and a new regime here with this Adam Peters thing. It's just not happening. Sorry.
Lou, I was trying to save you, Lou. I was trying to save you from safety debate, Lou.
Wait. Hold on, real quick.
Don't let Wole do this to you.
Wait. So first off, I do agree. There's nowhere they're going. There's nowhere they're going with the receiver. So that's not like, I do agree with that. Like I do agree with that. But my thing is that sometimes this is going to happen. One, this is going to happen. I can envision it already. You may get a Jaden Daniels or Drake May, because you may get them, and it's fine. And they can have fine careers. They can be fine football players. They can be fine quarterbacks. They could be good. But the reason why I mentioned Kirk Cousins is because Kirk Cousins is a good quarterback. He's not a bad quarterback. He's not an elite quarterback, but he's a good quarterback. But Kirk Cousins, as good as he is, and in Minnesota has a great situation. Matter of fact, Case Keenum took that same team to when it had Stephon Diggs, Adam Thielen, the same team Kirk Cousins had. Case Keenum took that team to the NFC Championship game. They lost to the Eagles, but he took them to the NFC Championship game. Kirk Cousins, as good as he is, better passer, couldn't get that far. That's one. With the same amount of talent. Now you have Justin Jefferson, who is the best. No, he is the best wide receiver in football. Like the best wide receiver in football. Makes everything easy for Kirk Cousins. Now you have Sam Howell, who struggled last year. And you have this kid in Marvin Harrison Jr., because we can only go at this particular point in time at body of work and your ability of what you've done and the consistency. And Marvin Harrison checks all the boxes in terms of elite wide receiver play. I'll add all elements. One,
Look
great
at
pedigree.
Mo. Look at Mo.
Great pedigree. He let Liga look at it because he knows I'm right. Great pedigree.
I'm going to dismantle this whole argument.
No, watch. You go listen because I'm going to dismantle you for trying. I'm going to dismantle you for trying because it's amazing. My argument's amazing. It's great pedigree.
Glenn can't stand it anymore. Glenn can't stand it anymore.
Marvin Harrison's son. Second, he went to Ohio State, and look at the track record of Ohio State wide receivers over the last 4 years. Look at the track record. Speaks for itself. And Mo, you know this, so shake your head. You know it's true. 6'4", 6'4" height. Probably going to run a 4.4. Great route runner. He's going to be quite fine in the NFL. Getting open will not be a problem for him.
At all.
At all, right? Agreed?
That's fine.
Yes. But go ahead.
You're not listening to Lou.
No, go ahead.
What?
Go ahead. I'm going to let you go.
The problem is not the person that's throwing him the football. It's not even him getting open. Because Terry McLaurin can get open.
Go ahead.
That's not the problem. The problem is there's going to be any time to deliver the football to this man. That has been the problem. That is going to continue to be the problem. You finally got a brother, man, I let you preach on your soapbox about Marvin Harrison. We went down this road already, okay?
Go ahead.
We done sat here. Emmy Award-winning Lewis told us that Adam Peters is an adult in the building. We got an adult in the building making decisions. You want him to go do the same mess all the other regimes has done. When the one time that you have draft capital, you have 5 picks in the top 100. This is a wide receiver late in draft. You can get a wide receiver in the second round that's going to be as good as one in the first round. You don't need Marvin Harrison Jr. You have a $20 million wide receiver in Terry McLaurin. You have another first-round draft pick at wide receiver in Jahan Dotson. You can bring back a Curtis Samuel if you want, or you can get somebody to be like Curtis Samuel. Why do you need Marvin Harrison Jr. when you got a chance to get a organization-changing quarterback? Finally, the first one that you got to play pretty well early since RG3, that was 12 years ago, and before that, God knows how long. And you talking about Marvin Harrison Jr. Why would you want a Ferrari in a DC pothole street?
You ready?
That's what the Commanders are.
You ready? Are you still going?
You can go ahead.
I'm sorry.
Right, so let me.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do it. I'm sorry. I didn't.
It's cool. No, it's cool.
Ray did say that I should watch the other show.
No, it's too late now. He done messed up now. No, he done messed up.
We're drinking water.
Hold on.
So I'm sorry.
You reference all these. So you know NFL history. You're a fan of NFL history, right, Mo?
Go.
All right. So, I'm thinking of his draft like years ago.
Fellas, this is a moot
Minnesota.
Point. They are not Marvin Harrison. It's a moot point. They're not getting Marvin Harrison.
Well, you know what? I'm ending right there. We're good. Don't worry about it. Because I'm going to go back to somebody else called Randy Moss. I was going to go with Randy Moss and how Minnesota didn't need Randy Moss.
They're not going to do it.
I was going to do that.
They're not going to do it.
It's okay.
And again, this team won 4 games last year. Right, we got to take baby steps. Marvin Harrison, even if they took him, there's no way that Marvin Harrison is going to get this team by itself into the playoffs. Right? You need You need so many more other parts that are more important in this first year than a wide receiver. It's just not. It's maybe in another draft, maybe with another team or whatever like that. But this particular situation, they are looking for their own signal caller that is going to lead this Cliff Kingsbury offense the way that they want to. And that is why I'm so happy that they are discussing everything at the combine. And I'm telling you right now, although Marvin Harrison looks good, it's not what they need right now because of what Mo said. I mean, you got, again.
That's a luxury pick. The
old regime, the Bruce Allens, the whatever, they would actually even have moved up to get Caleb at number 1 if they
No, that's a fact.
But we all have survived. We all should have shirts that say we survived the RG3 experiment. It doesn't work. They have the quarterbacks there, and Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to have a great career. It's just not going to be in Washington. That's all. There's nothing wrong with it.
Lou, let me just tell you though. I mean, Sam Howell gets knocked. He didn't have the offensive line play, But through 10 weeks, he had the most completions in the league, second most passing yards, and he had the most touchdowns.
Ray, until they figured him out.
No, I'm just saying. But
you get a Marvin, you figure out.
I'm just saying. You bolster your receiver core with a star like that, 6'4", who can go up and get the ball. He don't need to be open.
Yeah, he don't need to be open.
I'm just saying.
He is open.
It could potentially go there though.
Jacoby Brissett came in that same game and had no problems. No problems. He had I remember it was the Seattle game. He came into the same game that Sam Howell was struggling with, and he had no problems. Right?
So, Ray, we gotta stop this conversation, Ray. We gotta stop.
Go click on the link, man. We'll send it to you. It's okay.
We'll send it to you.
I already seen it. I'm just
saying. No, it's way more than this. It's way more than this. It's way more than this.
It's a lot more. It's a lot more depth, man.
Lou.
It's way more.
I want you to get our ratings up, but save yourself, Lou. Don't go down this road with these guys.
Hey, Lou. It was popping too. Believe me. You gonna listen? You on?
I need to be on everything more.
Thank you.
Wole only has me on like every time the cicadas come up.
Hey, see what I told you? See what I told you, Ray? See how Lou be trying to go at me?
Lou, the invitation is always open, my friend.
Ray, and I might need to get it from you because Wole ain't calling me. But it's all good. I'm a professional.
I typically
I'll show up when the light comes on. I'm gonna show up.
I typically don't go against my West African brother Wole over there. This is the second guest in 2 weeks, though, Wole, that has said this.
But yeah, because he has his favorites. That's okay. When the World Cup comes on, I know I'm going to be on every week. We talk about Nigeria.
Let's go.
When we talk about African teams getting out of the group stages and everything like that, when we talk about Messi coming in June, I know I'm going to be on then.
Hey.
Man,
all right, and Adam Peters, we trust. That's the theme, Lou. There you go.
Hey, listen. On a serious tip.
Yeah.
This is so important that I think that people are overlooking the fact that we have somebody who's making the decisions, who was the most coveted GM candidate out there, and he chose Washington. Mm-hmm. Washington chose him, but he also chose Washington. And I'm telling you, it is so reassuring to go to see video from the NFL Combine and having a 4-win team from the year before being one of the most talked about teams at the Combine. It's because of one guy. It's because of one guy. He's so mutually respected in the NFL that I am okay. You know, no pun intended from another one of Josh Harris's products. I'm okay with trusting the process, right? Even if they get the quarterback wrong, I'm okay with trusting the process because look at all the things that he's been able to do. You saw it on display. You saw it on display in the Super Bowl. He built that team. And they were not good the first year, guys. Remember when he came in with Lynch and Shanahan, they were not good the first year. But that second and that third draft, they started to move up, and now they are a powerhouse, and they're going to be there for a while. And that's what I'm excited about. And I don't think that you're going to see him spend all of that cap space in 1 year. This guy is going to be playing chess while other people are playing checkers.
We gotta have you on more often, Lou. Definitely.
Yeah.
Well, I'm telling you, this is after covering this team for 20 some odd years and seeing Spurrier and seeing Jim Zorn and seeing Gruden and even Joe Gibbs the second time around and all of that. I am now actually excited because through all of that, there was Vinny Serrato, there was Bruce Allen. That they should do a 30 for 30 on that 2013 team that had Raheem Morris. They had Shanahan, McVay, LaFleur. They had Slowick. They had all of those guys on the same staff. But guess what? It was Bruce Allen. It was Mike Shanahan, and it was Dan Snyder who couldn't agree on who the quarterback was going to be, and that's why that team won 3 games that year, right? For the first time, the owner, the GM, the head coach and whoever they pick a quarterback is all going to be on the same page. I'm excited. I'm excited. There is power in unity, brothers.
I can tell, man. Hey,
Yeah,
Glenn,
yeah,
he been drinking that
everybody's locked in. They all locked in.
He was drinking that Glen grape
Kool-Aid. Mo got a question. I think Mo got a question though.
With all of this Adams Peters talk and having a grown up in the room, and we know that presumably this second pick in the draft is going to be a quarterback. Who are some of the other players in the combine that you see the Commanders having their eye on, especially with the fact that they had 5 picks in the first 100?
I'll say this, and I'm just going to be. No, I don't want to be vague, but I'm going to be vague. They're going to be looking at offensive linemen.
I agree. That's what I'm
They're going to be looking at offensive linemen. What happened last year, Mo, is that they gambled on some people in the offseason, and it didn't work out. And then they had to scramble around, and they didn't wait till Stroberg came in the 3rd round. They are actually going to be looking for again. I don't think anybody on this team. Anybody, we just talked about McLaurin and Jahan and everything. I don't think anybody on this team is safe. For me, I think competition is going to be for everybody. And I think that they're going to get competition at all the key spots. But obviously, that offensive line and that secondary, they're going to need some help with in the draft. But I also think that they're going to make some moves. Before this draft, trust me, I'm going to be going out to Ashburn a lot for introductory press conferences for free agents and people that are going to be coming in that Adam Peters is going to be picking up, that he's probably looking at already to fill some of these holes. But in the draft, things that you're going to be looking for, more offensive linemen and more people in the secondary. I think that is what you're going to see. I don't have names per se because I think units or what this particular coaching staff is going to be looking for.
So let me
I got some players. You got something?
I didn't have players, but I was definitely going to ask position groups. Like with those 5 picks, what position groups do you definitely want to see? Like, is it like 2 linemen? But I'll let you answer the question. What position groups do you want to see drafted in those first 5 picks? Since we're not talking names.
Go, Lou. For you, that's for you, Lou.
What position groups?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously after the quarterback, after that, I think the best offensive lineman, maybe a tackle or a guard available. Because again, the only person I'm keeping that I'm comfortable with is Cosme.
Yeah.
Right. And what we found out is that if somebody gets hurt, the whole deck of cards falls apart. Right. Yeah. And I hate that because, NFC East football in November and December, man, people get hurt. Right. Leno Jr., I don't even think he finished the season. I mean, there's so many people that got hurt. You need backup. You need, you can't have enough offensive linemen for me and let them all compete in camp. Let them all compete in camp and see who's the best. And then after that, obviously, I'm so excited. I think to me, to see Witt, I think that he's going to be a star. I think as a defensive coordinator, I think he's going to be a star because Jack Del Rio was
trash.
Thank you.
I said for
and I think that it's a shame to me that Jack Del Rio and Ron Rivera, they were linebackers in the NFL, and the linebacking crew was the worst on that defense. Right. So picking up a linebacker, and then obviously, Defoe got hurt. St. Juice didn't play his best. Forbes needs so much help. I mean, he needs so much help. I think that you're gonna see that secondary. You got to clear up the secondary. So those would be my wish list. I don't know about other people, but those are my wish list. You don't need a wide receiver. I don't even think you need a tight end because I don't know what happened to Paul.
You need a tight end. You need a tight end, Lou.
You need a tight end, Lou.
Come on, Lou.
Not with him. Not. We talking about which one? Not Logan.
Jatavion Sanders, man, he's gonna be there in the top 100.
Lou, if you can get your hands on that kid from Texas, Lou, go get him.
All right, so
I do want to ask you a question though.
Go ahead.
What happened to Cole Turner?
I like Cole Turner. I'm not gonna lie to you, Lou.
I want your honest opinion because
I don't know why
he was tall. He was I don't know what happened.
ran good
But
routes.
I want your honest opinion because you all watched as much football as I did.
So I can
what
say,
happened to Cole Turner?
I think what the reports were from, because I was mad that Bates would play over him. I thought he was way better than Bates. So I think just the kid's not blocking tight end, and he needs to block. He's just not a guy who can block. So that kind of kept him out of the lineup. But I just feel like there's ways you can, like for instance, Jordan Reed couldn't block in Washington. Like he couldn't block. But he was such a good pass catching tight end. I felt like you could utilize.
Would you get that in the draft or would you get that in free agency somewhere?
A tight end? You can give him a draft.
I think you get that in the draft versus free agency.
Draft.
All right.
Especially this pool that's available this year.
The kid from Texas, like y'all talking about, he's really good. He's
really good.
He'll be there.
Sanders.
He's really good.
I think the only tight end worth spending some money on this year is Dalton Schultz, and that's if you feel like he's high. But like,
I don't even think he's worth that. Yeah, I wouldn't spend that money on him. So like the guys in the combine, I'm looking for because Lou said offensive lineman, so I'm with that, Lou, like an offensive lineman.
I will say this though, Cole Turner will be better suited for this offense in the way that Cliff Kingsbury likes to call the plays because he's not going to have to inline block a lot.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I like the kid.
I like him too. So
I really like the kid, and I think like a lot of people, they were not they were mismanaged. Mm-hmm. The fact that Jahan Dotson was on a milk carton box for half the season. I mean, there was just so many things that I'm just like, these people are not being utilized. I'm so looking forward to seeing Jahan have another year like he had his first year. Cole Turner. There was some other young talent out there. I was just like, what happened? So
I do think Jahan will bounce back. I do think that if you looked at KC's offense when Eric Bieniemy was calling the plays there, that second wide receiver did not get much action because we would. I think a lazy narrative is it was just Tyreek out there, on the outside, so nobody else can eat. But like, it seemed like that was a facet of their offense, inside out, and then throwing to Tyreek. The second receiver not really getting that much shine. And I think that's what Jahan Dotson got caught up in last year because it was even hard to get the ball to Terry McLaurin.
What Jahan Dotson got caught up in last year was that Sam Howell didn't trust him. He kept dropping footballs. He stopped throwing them balls because he didn't trust them. And that's 100% fact. He didn't trust the dude. He dropped balls, so it wasn't the number 2 receiver.
He dropped them, bro. He dropped them.
He wasn't a league leader.
Not league leader, but he was bad for this team, though. Not for this team.
Then also he had to get them out quick.
Crucial passes.
Then he had to get the ball out quick. The route concepts that he was running wasn't the ones that was quick. If you look at Sam Howell, what he did last year, it was either a lot of balls went to the wide receivers, a lot of balls went to the tight ends, and therefore it would check down. It was running backs. Running backs. Went to the running backs. And so things were getting out quick because, again, the offensive line wasn't that good. So, therefore, you wasn't going to get the things that Terry McLaurin or Jahan Dotson was really good at because the quarterback was either running for his life or he was sacked. Let's not forget this dude was sacked. He was on pace to break the record until they slowed it down, until they get the ball out quicker. So, again, offensive line is definitely needed. Also need an inside line. You need a linebacker, right? No one mentioned linebacker. You need a linebacker on this defense. Lou did, but you need You need linebackers, right? So again, all of it's not going to be done on the draft. All of it's not going to be at the combine. Some of it has to be done through free agency. So that's where a guy like Adam Peters, his staff, what Dan Quinn's looking for, what Witt's looking for, what they're looking for, is to make this again. And there's some characteristics and qualities that they want in the players. They want players who are dogs. They want players who are mentally strong, who are mentally tough. They can weather the business nonsense that this organization has to keep up with or has to deal with. Because again, y'all mentioned organizations F and everything, right? That's outside for people looking at it. You need people to change that. What changes that F is start winning football games. Win more than 4 games.
I think everybody wants dogs, though. I mean, I don't know no team that said they don't want dogs. The hard part is finding them. The hard part is finding them.
It's not hard. It's not hard to find them. You create dogs are created. You have something a little bit in a culture will create a dog, right? An organization that have foundation and structure will create those players. His example for his organization, right? When Marty Schottenheimer, it took him a while to create dogs, but he created some dogs when they came here, right? He created people that were willing to play. Okay, Pete Carroll when he went to Seattle, they took on a persona of the coach, right? The last several coaches that was here in Washington, they were not dog coaches, right? Their persona was not in that wheelhouse to allow them. D'Amico Ryan down in Texas, look at the energy he brings to that team. And look, and look what he brings to the Houston Texans, and look how the players fed off of that.
No, I agree. I do think. I mean, to a certain extent, I think it's
I
a
don't
little
think
bit
dogs
both.
are created, though.
No, not creative. No. What I mean by that is no. I think it's cultivated.
But dogs are trained though. If dogs are trained, there's something inside of you, but you got to trip. You got to train. You got to cultivate it. It's cultivated.
It's being cultivated. So I think I know
the point of being a dog is not that need cultivation, guys. I don't know
how
far y'all remove from sports.
Hold on. Hold on. Wait. Like Baltimore cultivates an environment with dogs. They have dogs though, but you identify. So let me finish. You identify your dogs. Like I do agree with you. Like you, as a GM, you identify that's a dog. But you cultivate an environment with dogs. You know, like you have a dog-like mentality. The whole unit now has a dog-like mentality. Because anything like if I'm around a bunch of dogs, and I'm like, man. You're now it's contagious to a certain extent. You're starting to have dog-like qualities. You might not be a total dog, but you still have dog-like qualities. For instance, Kobe Bryant, like playing with Kobe Bryant, he ain't play a bunch of dogs, but he cultivated an environment where some dudes started having certain qualities.
Like that's the
certain people play with a certain aggression. Certain people play with certain aggression.
Kobe, like, we're gonna talk about that another time.
No. I'll use an example. I'm a Laker fan. Andrew Bynum is not a dog. But Andrew Bynum playing with Kobe Bryant, he made him tougher. Andrew Bryant cried. He cried. He played with Kobe and he made him tougher. So you can do what you can do.
I think you're reaching on Andrew Bynum.
No, it's a fact. It's a factual statement. Go back and look him up. It's a factual statement.
The point of being a dog is an intrinsic motivation. A dog is not something that anybody feeds.
I'm not saying you're not listening to
what the Baltimore Ravens did. What the Baltimore Ravens have a good history of doing is drafting dogs.
I said the same thing. Mo, I said the same thing.
Right?
I'm
but that's not cultivating dogs. That's just drafting dogs and putting a lot of dogs together. That's
like I said you pick I said you pick you identify what a dog is. Like again, you identify what a dog is. That's all I'm saying. So you're picking dog. You identify it. Everybody on your squad ain't going to be a dog. So what you do when you identify a dog, you bring a whole dog-like mentality. What it is it's still for the dude who's not a dog. They are now dressed in that environment. So you now bring out a quality in them that they don't typically have, or showing out. So if I had, like for instance, if everybody here is a dog and there's one person that's not a dog, do you think they're gonna stay the same, or you think they're gonna pick up certain traits of that individual? Right. If everybody is, then one person's not.
So if I can jump in there for a second, because I'll use two examples, just hearing what you all said. Yeah. I'll use two examples, and I think the word dog could also be substituted with game changer, right? Because when I first got here, Champ Bailey wasn't a dog, right? But he was the best player on the defense because he was a game changer and he had a tremendous amount of talent and his motor was really, really high, right? Yeah. Then obviously we all talked about Sean Taylor. Sean Taylor came in here and he was, a more forceful dog, as you say, spitting on people. I remember when he spit on TJ Hushmanzada and I was like, this dude, he's different. Even Chris Cooley said the dude is different. Those are two great game changers, right? One had more dog mentality, but it's also like people feed off of talent. This team has not had the talent. I don't think that John Allen and Daron Payne, they're not those game-changing dogs that we thought maybe when they were at Alabama, right? But again, I think we all can agree that the makeup of the NFL player right now, there is more of a how should I say, money off the field and whatever like that, where just like in the NBA and the old school, where these guys never came off the field, they always played, they played hurt, whatever. That's just not happening anymore. So I think that you can interchange the word game changer and dog around the same time. Mm-hmm. I think that people gravitate to talent. Right. And I think people gravitate to talent of people who consistently show that talent game in and game out. Right. And there are times where I was like, where's Daron Payne? Where's Jonathan Allen? I've even said where, for this year, I was like, where's Terry? Right. The game changers, they're always there. Every single game, they are always there. Right. And I think that is what you're looking for in the draft and you're looking for in free agency are those game changers. They might sometimes be a forceful dog, but sometimes they can lead quietly too. You know, that's just my opinion.
It's good. No, it's good. That's a good one.
And there's some good examples of people that were just like nasty, but then there were people who were like, game changers, in other ways, like Darryl Green, Art Monk, those guys. I mean, yeah, you had your Dexter Manleys and you had your Charles Mann, but you also had people who were reliable that were not like, yelling and screaming, whatever. They came with different, and I can't really describe it as much, but when Champ Bailey played, Champ Bailey didn't say anything. Yeah. He didn't say anything. But he was a shutdown corner that's going to the Hall of Fame. So it's like it's very interesting, the dynamic that you talk about with Dog, right? And but I think it's like your best ability is your availability, and some of these guys just aren't on the field enough, and they're not making enough plays.
No, that's true. That's true.
That's just me.
So, I kind of wanted to talk as well. I wanted to actually mention like the players that I thought they should get. And Mo, I want to ask you like, or should be looking at. So I want to ask you because I know you're kind of tapped in. You saw the kid Tyler Guyton out of Oklahoma.
Me?
Tackle, Mo? Yeah. Have you seen the tackle?
Yeah.
All right. So he's athletic. Washington had a tackle from Oklahoma, Trent Williams, who's now in San Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
He's athletic. Is he Trent Williams athletic, or is he?
I think that's a high bar, man. I think Trent is like the prototype. That's what everybody's aiming to get. Mm-hmm. And I think that anybody that can move, like, being a Giants fan, we had that a couple of years ago with Andrew Thomas when we drafted him out of Georgia. 2-time all-American consecutive years and whatnot. When he came out, he was likened to Trent Williams.
Exactly.
But he's a very good player.
Yes.
He's a very good. He's been all-pro twice already. He's a very good player. He's no Trent Williams. He's no Trent Williams. Like, you want a guy in the mold. You want a guy that has some of those qualities. But Trent Williams has that thing that Alou was talking about. He got some nastiness to him within the lines. You know what I mean? He got some nastiness within the lines. The ability is there. The size is there. Just like the extra. He has that extra that you can't teach, that you can't coach. He's the guy that you put out. Like, you see the 49ers do it all the time. He's the first one they tried out there.
The first one.
He's the first one off the bus. You know what I mean? He's the first one they tried out there. Those guys are few and far between. And we've known it since Trent was in burgundy and gold. He's going to the Hall of Fame first ballot.
Facts.
First ballot. So it's hard to say somebody's going to be Trent Williams. But is he in the mold of that? Is that something he should aspire to? Is the way that Trent Williams played a way that he should be used? I would say so.
Yeah, because Washington is like we've talked about it, and it's real talk. They're getting a quarterback probably. So in the second round, if they're not trading back
somebody
up,
like that.
Yeah, you're gonna need to go tackle, because Toulouse's point, what he said in the combine, what are you looking for? And I feel like there's the guys out there that's gonna probably slip down towards that, because you're not gonna get the kid from Notre Dame, not gonna get the kid from Penn State unless you don't get a quarterback. You're not getting a kid from Penn State who'll probably go. It's wild how the kid from Notre Dame is now kind of favored to be over the kid from Penn State now on some mock drafts. But I just feel like where he's at, I feel like that's a spot where Washington can kind of eat, because they have 2 second rounders. It's either because he's probably he may be low second round. It was Washington's low second round. He may be high. He could be a high first rounder or hit Washington right at that spot. I feel like that's a play that Washington can go after. Or you got Mims from Georgia. Yeah, I think that's a good one. I think he's first round, late first round, and I think that's one that you can maybe want to trade back in the first round for.
But how that the end of that first round gets real crazy. People start moving back and forth, and then some people are going to start reaching. You're going to have your guys that think they're smarter than everybody, and some guys are going to be available there. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So like, there's offensive linemen to be had for the Commanders here, depending on what they do in free agency and where they feel the holes in. Mm-hmm. He's going to be he's going to be in contention to be a pick. And if they can bolster it and add to Cosme, and if let's say they get 2 guys in free agency and he's the first offensive lineman pick, I think everybody will be happy. I think everybody will be happy with what that would look like. You know what I mean? Because the athleticism is definitely there to deal with any of the elite pass rushers. Cause the way he can bend, the long arms, the strength, it's just for us to see it at training camp and mini camp and in training camp to be sold. But he's going to have a bright future and he has a lot of upside.
So is anybody interested of them trying to get a pass rusher in the second round? Because all right. So go ahead. So you got a pass rusher now?
I asked Lou the question earlier because I wanted to know like what he was thinking. Like I think quarterback is definitely in play. Quarterback and tackle got to be the first two picks. I wouldn't be mad if there's a linebacker, a DN and a linebacker. Yeah. And that fifth pick, I believe, has to be either a secondary or another running back. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Another running back to go with B-Rob because he's not dynamic in a sense of speed and pulling away from people. Yeah. So I didn't know. I was going to ask you guys a question, actually. Is there a position group that you think that they could draft two people at in the top five, in those top five picks?
I just know what Witt did with that secondary in Dallas. I mean, I hate the Dallas Cowboys, don't like them, but that defense, that secondary was legit. I mean, obviously they fell on their face in Green Bay, but everybody got better. Everybody got better under Witt. So it's almost like I would be happy to see whatever they pick there because again, until they obviously we saw it. These high-end quarterbacks were picking on that secondary. And if you can't pick on that secondary, man, and those guys can't get open, that's when your interior linemen and everything like that, that's when they can get home, right? But these quarterbacks, the last three quarters, it was Purdy, it was Dak, it was Tua. They were just feeding off of that, the lack of secondary. So I think that if you can go and spend time, and it hurts me to say that because that's what they did last year. They got Quan Martin and they got Forbes with the first two picks, right? And it hurt me because I didn't think Jack Del Rio knew what to do with them, right?
Can I push you on? Can I push you on that
you
statement right there?
Yeah,
go Mo.
Can I push you on that DB point? You got a first round asset in Emmanuel Forbes. He has to play. We know that, right? He has to play. I do think he was played out of position. He was played the wrong way. He was played opposite of the way that he showed on tape in college, right? Martin didn't play initially. Then he started playing when people got battered. And then he was also all over the place. Couldn't find a home. St. Juice was played out of position. St. Juice is 6'2", 6'3", long arms. They played around with him in the slot, trying to figure that out. Put him on the outside, let him do what he does best. Like, let these guys play the way they do. I think those are coaching problems, right? Defoe's coming back at the safety. Hopefully they re-sign Cam Curl, right? There's a lot of options there because I think that's the one position group that has the most potential, actually, with this new group. If you look at the way that the Cowboys played with their DBs, outside of Stephon Gilmore, everybody else was playing looking at the quarterback and playing off of him. We know Dan Quinn has a history of playing cover three, lining people up 7 yards off the ball and letting them read and react. That's what Emmanuel Forbes does best, and he wasn't allowed to do it. They had him pressing up against stronger, bigger wide receivers, and he looked like a rag doll, as he should. Mm-hmm. As he should, because he's 175 pounds soaking wet. So I think with Dan Quinn and Witt coming in, they allow these corners to play the style of football that they are best at, which is how the Cowboys played. Looking in, it's no wonder why the Cowboys have the two most turnover-causing corners the past 2 years. Diggs the year before with his 11, and Bland this year with his 9, and 5 of them going back for pick sixes. Is a style of football that was in their favor. That's what they need to bring here. That's why I think Witt is here. That's why I think Dan Quinn is here. Dan Quinn has a history of having good, solid cornerback play because of the way that he coaches defense. Mm-hmm. So I think there's a vast improvement in that defensive secondary just because of the coaches rather than bringing in new players.
Okay, you got me excited about that because again, that was the biggest to me. It wasn't Sam Howell. It wasn't the offensive line. It was the complete collapse of that secondary that was the most disappointing, because remember, they were in the top 10 category the year before in everything else except turnovers, right? Then you go and get these two guys, 1 and 2 in the first. You're like, okay, well, that's solved, because even in their rookie experience, they're going to be at least energy enough to get picks, whatever. That whole thing declined to such a degree that every offensive highlight that you see from another team in the TV or whatever, it's against Washington. Every time they show Justin Fields, and are they going to go number 1? Are they going to trade him? Whatever. It's that game that they played against Washington. Every time they show Dak Prescott highlights, it's against Washington. Every time they show the Giants and what they did, Danny DeVito, it's against Washington. That whole defense is on everybody's highlight film, and that was the most disgusting thing about the whole season, because the defense was supposed to keep them around.
He called him Danny DeVito.
Hey, Glenn, you had something you want to say. I can tell. Glenn, you had something you want to say.
I want to say the point is, man, we're talking about combine and we're talking about what they can get. We still have a whole free agency of $90 million. So you don't have to fix the team you don't have to fix the team in the combine or in the draft. You only get so many picks. There's a lot of things that Adam Peters has to do within the free agency world to fix this organization. And it's not just a young guy coming out of college that's going to fix this team. It's going to be some veterans that need to be put in this locker room, some veterans that need to play in order to make this thing work. So again, we're talking about combine and some of these young guys that may get drafted may not start right away. And because you have some veterans that will be on the team that can probably outplay them. Now, can they teach them and can they move them up? I think the one, again, we talk about the secondary was hurt. Secondary was hurt because, one, you couldn't get any pressure on the opposing team's quarterback, which is a D-line problem. 2, linebackers couldn't run because when the teams felt like that, Jamin Davis and Barton and all those guys couldn't run with running backs or slot receivers. What did they do? Everything went behind the inside linebackers. That window that was there. So again, it's much more than the secondary. It's a total defensive overhaul that needs to take place. So,
no, I agree with that. I do think that it's interesting when you hear Adam Peters talk about how he builds his team. It sounds like he's more draft heavy. Like he wants to build his team in the draft. So to what Ray was saying earlier, like this is an important draft for this team, for him, to be honest with you, because his body of work. You see where he got some of his guys, even in San Francisco. The guy like Warner was a late late pick.
Rounder.
Yeah,
he's a safety, actually.
Yeah, exactly. And now he's one of the best linebackers in football. So his thing is about
Because to lose point, it took some time. It took some years.
And that's what I was about to say. To lose point, I know this fan base wants a contender instantly, yada yada. But like this is going to take some time to build. And like Lou said, I don't see him spending all this $90 million because next year's free agent class is as imperative as this year's free agent class.
Exactly.
Yeah. This guy knows what he's doing. Mm-hmm. And again, I'm looking at the fact that although you're holding out hope that you could have a Texans turnaround, I'm thinking more of the fact that I'd rather it be solid for years and years to come, right? Because he's going to keep getting picks and keep getting stuff and moving things around. I mean, that's the kind of stuff that we've just hadn't had here in 20 some odd years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's how significant this is, because again, you got to think that he knows exactly what he's doing. And I know that the reason why he took this job is for what we're talking about right now. This is a GM's paradise, right? And this is a guy who wouldn't even take the call last year, but now, Josh Harris is spending money. Josh Harris has I just feel that what you're talking about, when you talked about the free agency, I guarantee you he's working his sources right now at the combine, and you're going to see some good free agents coming in here. But I don't think that the fans should be thinking that this team won 4 games.
Yeah.
If they double it up to 8 games and don't make the playoffs, I'm going to be all right.
Hey, Lou, you talked about Adam Peters at the combine. He said in his interview yesterday that they will not use a transition. They will not use the franchise or the transition tag, right?
Why would they do that? Nobody made the Pro Bowl, and this team won 4 games. If they tagged anybody, I would be like, "What is Adam Peters? What?" I wouldn't expect that from Adam Peters to franchise tag who? Cam Curl? No. When your most consistent player was your punter? No. There's no one on this team that I would franchise tag. No one. No one.
I agree.
No, he's not married to any of these players. He likes it, and he sees talent. This cupboard is not bare. There's talent that like you all have said. Everybody on here has said that this needs proper coaching, right? But when I'm in here and I'm trying to build my own thing, right, and I don't want to look like a fool with anybody else, nobody is exempt from competition, and no one is getting no tag. No one's getting a tag.
You talk about married. You talk about married to players, right? He met with Sam Howell as well. He said he feels good about Sam Howell. Do this team keep Sam Howell, or do they trade him?
Of course, he's going to say he feels good about Sam Howell. What else is he going to say? There's no one else on the roster. That's what the frustrating thing about last year was when Ron Rivera came out and said Sam Howell is our QB1. Well, he was the only QB on the roster. They got rid of Tara Heineke. They got rid of Wentz. Of course he was QB1, right? But the biggest problem of last year was they didn't make it an honest quarterback competition because Jacoby Brissett was brought here for a reason, and he would have beat him out in training camp, right? He would have beat him out in training camp.
He beat him out. I thought he beat him out.
Right? Of course he's going to say that Sam Howell is whatever. Of course he's going to say that. That's a smart GM move. But deep down inside, that is not his guy.
You want to know what would be even more awkward? Imagine Drake May gets drafted.
They're friends.
They best friends.
I understand.
That's crazy.
That's what makes that awkward.
I know it's crazy. It's crazy.
He made it.
But I will tell you this: Sam Howell might have some trade value.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
You might get something for him.
Yeah, I've heard fourth rounder. That's what I've heard.
Can I mention something about quarterbacks?
He doesn't know Cliff Kingsbury's system, so that means another thing he got to learn.
That's three systems in 3 years. That's 3 systems in 3 years.
We all know football, fellas.
What you want to say, Mo? You something you wanted to add?
Raise dude in that beard, boy. Raise.
If you look at the quarterback list, we have the potential. For week 1 for there to be over half of the NFL quarterbacks being African American. And on this last couple of days of Black History Month, I just wanted to throw that out there.
That's awesome. Nah. That's awesome. Look at Ray.
The best quarterback is light skinned, and his name is Mahomes. and the number 1 quarterback in the draft is light skinned.
I knew he was gonna say something.
Enough
said. Let's give it up for the coaches too. Raheem.
That's
Raheem,
look at Ray.
Right. Raheem's the only one this cycle, right?
Huh?
Raheem is the only one this cycle, right?
Only black coach. No.
He's not.
Is he the only one?
Well, I mean, let's. I mean, throughout the league now, you still got Tomlin the GOAT, right?
Yeah.
You got DeMeco Ryans. You got
Antonio Pierce. I guess you can count him.
Yeah, Antonio Pierce.
Who's the guy in New England? Mayo.
Mayo.
Huh?
Todd
Bowles.
Yeah.
It's a big deal. It's a big deal, though. No doubt.
It's getting to a point that you can't overlook it. Can't overlook it. So, but yeah, I'm cautiously optimistic because I have taken my fandom hat down for a long time and has looked at this team very, very skeptically as far as how it's built. And they did not have a front office. There was not a front office, right? Mm-hmm. And there was not a front office that the owner had confidence in because the owner wanted to be like Jerry Jones, right?
Mm-hmm. And
look how it's working out. The problem in Dallas is the owner. The owner has too many hats, and look what happened when he had who is the GM there? Who is that person, right?
Mm-hmm. I don't know.
Who is that person?
Stephen Jones, his son.
Huh?
It's his son, right? It's his son.
His son.
I thought so. Yeah, I thought it was his son.
Nah, he's whispering into his son's ear, But who are they showing? Who are they showing in the press box all the time? Oh, I mean, they're showing him. They're showing him. They're showing him. I mean, look. I mean, even the Philadelphia Eagles, right? They had Howie Roseman, right? Jeffrey Lurie made a huge mistake by giving Chip Kelly all that control. He came in there and he dismantled that Eagles team that had Vic. They had Deshaun Jackson. They had
McCoy.
Macklin, McCoy. He got rid of all of them, right? And then he said he was sorry. He made a huge mistake, brought Howie Roseman in, and they have won a Super Bowl. This is all while Washington has been floundering around with everything. They've been floundering around with everything, right? So the blueprint is right there. Howie Roseman got back in the building, and even Kelsey at the parade when he was in that Mummers outfit was telling everybody that things changed when Howie Roseman was able to do what Howie Roseman can do, right? Adam Peters is right there. I think that who knows where the next Jalen Hurts is going to come from? Who knows where the next all these players are going to come from? But I'm telling you, the competency that you have now in the front office can give everybody a sigh of relief if they just practice some patience, right? I hope that we are all, God has spared our lives, that we are all around here next year talking about the next stage of Adam Peters' build and how this team is going to be solid, right? There's going to be a solid team, and it's not going to be no games like the Miami Dolphins. There's not going to be no games like the Chicago Bears. I mean, there's going to be competitive people in there because there's going to be competition even when other people go down, right? And it's just going to be a good ride for me. And I know you all agree because
I definitely agree.
The league has been the league is only as good to me as the strength of the NFC East. That has been the crown jewel of this entire Lombardi trophies aside, right? The NFL has loved the fact that the NFC East is competitive. And when the NFC East has bum teams, the NFL does not like it.
Hey, man, you got 4 prominent cities in the NFC East, so
they don't like it. I'm not saying that they're going to win Super Bowls, but when they are trash, right? The ratings, the Dallas Cowboys, the Philadelphia Eagles, the Washington Commanders, and the New York Giants, the league gets happy when those teams are doing well.
Yep.
This is true.
I agree.
All facts.
All right, well, Lou, before we end the show, how can folks catch your content and also on social media, and let them know about your YouTube channel as well?
Yeah, so I got that Holder Hangout, and I got Holder Sports on the X now, and I think it's called the X.
Yeah, it's the X. It's X. Yeah, we are X.
And folks, you can catch me the next time on Burgundy and Gold Everything. If you want to know where my content is going to be, it's going to be on all Burgundy and Gold Everything. If the next time he has me on, that's where you can catch my content. So I'm going to need Ray and Glen and Mo. I'm going to need you to be my advocates so I can be on not all the time, but more times than
we can be on together. We can
say every time.
We can be on together, Lou. Whenever I'm on.
Hey, Lou, you supposed to say every time. Lou, you supposed to say every time.
I can't because you don't have me on no time.
I'll be on when you're on. Trust me, it'll work out.
We got some good things to talk about, man. We got basketball. We got other things. We can chop it on anything. I love this group. I mean, when he look, real talk. When Wale said that it's 9:30 that we're gonna do this thing, I'm like, wow, 9:30. But now I'm awake. This conversation, I'm serious, dude. It's for brothers, these 5 brothers of color on here talking. This is what social media and this is what technology I'm so proud of, that these different opinions and these different kind of platforms are available. And again, nothing, anything we said here, people had different opinions or whatever like that, but it's knowledgeable content. Nothing that we said was inaccurate. It's just different opinions, right? And it's rare to have that on it. It's rare that 5 people of color can be on there and have the platform. So that's why I'm excited about everything that happens on this show.
I love it.
I love it, man. We love having you, Lou. Thank you, man.
We do.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, Lou. I love having you on, Lou.
Hey, can I ask you all one question?
What's up?
Before I leave?
Go ahead.
How you all feel about court storming? That's been a big topic going on.
College basketball.
How do you all feel about it?
I'll say this real quick.
Did y'all talk about it already?
No. It's obviously a different platform. This is football, but here's the thing, Lou. When we were growing up and back in your day,
no, it's not just football. Hold on.
No.
Hold on.
The
president of Duke they were talking about Duke. Duke had a
when they beat Clemson. When they beat Clemson,
right?
They stormed the field.
No. I know. I'm talking about this show.
I shouldn't say court storming. I should say fan storming.
No, Ray was saying no. Ray was saying this is a football show. That's why he was saying
this is a football show.
I'm saying it happens in football too.
No. It definitely does. What I'm saying is, but we used to do it back in the day when you actually beat somebody meaningful. It didn't have to be a school. If you beat the number 1 team, then you storm the court. But they just beat Duke when Duke is regular. That's whack. I mean, you got to change your standards, man. Like court storming is great. You just got to control the crowd until the other team gets
okay, you said it's a football show. You say it's a football show.
It's costing a lot of money, man.
I'll put the football for you. When Auburn beats Alabama or somebody beats Tennessee or whatever, and these fans run onto the field and take down the goalposts and everything like that. It's the same type of thing. There's even more players. I mean, obviously they have on helmets, but people are now coming out and they looking to be they looking to get people, right? Yeah. So I want to know what this group feels about collectively fans being allowed on the field to play.
So I don't like fans on the field, period. But I'm with Ray though. I feel like it has to be it's got to be the real big game or like an upset. I like Auburn beat Alabama. They both are in the top 5. I don't need you still on the field for that because you're both in the top 5. I don't need that. That's not a big thing for me.
But to anybody who plays Duke, who hates Duke, they feel that anytime Duke loses, it's a chance to go out there and embarrass Duke. Right?
I don't like that. I don't like that.
I don't like it in any sport. I don't like it in any sport.
They did it with Caitlin. Clark. When there's a good player on it, because again, to me, when people were storming the fields of play back in the day, it was for real jubilation, right? Like the cow touchdown and everything, the people are on. Now people are going out there with their phones trying to be social media, whatever. Hey, what's going on? I mean, they're not storming the court for joy. They're storming the court so they can be social influencers.
For clout. I think that court or field storming can remain. I think that they should usher the players out on the opposing team a different way.
That's what I said.
Especially on the football field, stay on the sideline, rope off their sideline, have them have a clear path into the tunnel or wherever in the stadium. And if the fans want to continue to storm, let them storm, but they should not have any access to the players.
And security should have they should have batons, and they shouldn't just be with jackets on. They gotta have some batons or some type of power to them when they come on there.
You need somebody with a voice, man.
It's gonna take. You're asking for trouble, and this is where you ask for trouble. Emotions are already high, right? The opposing team is already upset, and we saw a couple of years ago where players and crowds got into fighting, right?
Garrett Blount.
Right. It becomes detrimental. The crowd can stay in the stand. They need to stay in the stands. And I've been in places where high school kids storm the field and different things. It's too much. You're trying to get your players off the field. People can have it. Okay, what happens if your star player get hurt when the crowd storms the field? I see that's the thing you gotta look at. People going for social media. What if your let's say Duke, your key player at Duke gets hurt, Caleb Williams at USC get hurt, your top dog at Alabama get hurt because crowd storms the field.
Marvin Harrison gets hurt.
But
Marvin
don't say that to Wole.
God forbid.
No, I said that right to Wole because Marvin Harrison Jr. he gets hurt.
Oh, God forbid.
And not to mention what it costs the university when the goalpost goes down, when the field gets trampled, all this stuff that takes place is money being spent. Crowds need to stay in the field. I understand they're excited, trust me, but you didn't play.
It's like Dale State, University of Maryland, Eastern Shore. Ray would get that if he's listening.
Hey, Maryland Eastern Shore, we upset Norfolk State this season, and the AD stood up and said, "Y'all do not run."
Yeah, don't move down.
And nobody moved. And nobody moved. You gotta have the right people in place. That's all it is, Lou.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, they were about to. The kids were about to.
First time since 2016. It was a big deal. You may not think that, but Mo, you went to a PWI. Glen
Mo went to Morgan State first. Relax.
Hey, we about
I got my black card and I went and got my money.
He went to Rutgers, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah.
I went to Rutgers and Temple, and there was no storming or nothing. There was no
not Temple.
We stormed
all their big games on the road. So when they big games on the road.
I have stormed the court once.
You stormed the court
once in 2008 when UMBC qualified for the March Madness. I did storm the court.
Oh yeah, we never had that. We never really had that type of.
Yeah, we
it's
made
okay.
It to March.
UMBS beat Temple last year in the biggest upset in college basketball. We didn't storm the court because it was at Temple, but big win. Sorry, Lou.
Thanks for throwing that in there. Appreciate it.
Anyway, man, this has been a great show. Thanks for everybody for tuning in. You've been listening to All Burgundy and Go Everything, powered by the Urban Sports Scene and Fox Sports Radio, 96.9 FM and 1340 AM, Hopewell, Virginia, for ages. You dig? Deuces. We out.